Before I get into a lot of stuff, man, that with the sports aspect of things, what I like to do is I like to talk to the people that I have have coming on. What is something that Mike Bibby is watching on television outside of basketball or sports?
Um, I like Snowfall. I like Blacklist. I like Ozark. Um, there's a lot of stuff I watch. I like to watch um, ghost stories that like the hauntings of stuff and stuff like
Oh,
that.
really?
That
Okay.
stuff kind of interests me and stuff. So I've had situations, that's presented itself with me in those aspects that kind of make them you know, like to watch it and see what's going on.
That's cool,
Make sure
man.
you like this
How
video
did you feel
and
about this last season
subscribe.
of Snowfall?
I liked it. I still have three more episodes left. I liked it.
Okay, so I won't say too much then. I won't
yeah,
say too much. I
yeah.
finished it
I
up,
got
so I
so
won't
many
say too
shows
much.
I'm watching. I got to get to all of them. So
Okay.
some of them are put off. I'm three back on some. So
Did you see that they and this has been announced, but did you see that they're picking it up for another season after this?
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so they
I
are
like
picking up.
BMF too. I
Okay.
like BMF. I like Power. I like the show. Shows that
Yeah. Yeah.
interest me. So those are shows that
Yeah.
interest me.
The cool thing is they're picking it up because they said that they want to get actually Rick Ross, the actual Rick Ross, involved with it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so they're
That'd
picking
be
it up
real
for another.
good.
Yeah, they're picking it up for another season.
That's good.
Um, Before we get into everything, I just need to do this really quick. This video is sponsored by Hylux Vitamin Water. Hylux is a regimented vitamin water that is packed with B complex vitamins, more potassium than a banana. And if you go to the website and you use to the drinkhylux.com website and you use the code hydrate, you will receive 10% off of any purchases that you make on the website. Four different flavors. We have watermelon strawberry, watermelon kiwi, raspberry pomegranate, and red dragon fruit. Right now I have some red dragon fruit that I'm sipping on. And I think red dragon fruit right now is my favorite, man. Mike, if you're familiar with body armor, it's very similar to body armor.
Okay. Okay.
Very similar to body armor. It's not as potent as body armor, but it's a
Uh huh.
very it's lighter, but it's a very good drink. Speaking of which, did you get your workout in today?
Yeah, I got in. I get up at 4 o'clock every morning and get to the gym and get my workout in. Because usually I golf. I usually go, get my workout in, get it over with, get it done, and then go golf and then come back
Okay.
here and train kids. So
Okay. Cool. 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 Let me go ahead and intro this really quick since we got you on the screen, brother. Man, I appreciate this, man, for
no
sure.
problem. Thanks for having me.
No problem. New viewers, welcome. Returning viewers, welcome back to Baseline to Goal Line. I am your host, Alan Cole Beasy Colburn, and in the building with me right now, I don't even think there's an introduction that needs to be had, but I'm going to give it anyway because I have to give this man his flowers. 1996 McDonald's All-American, Player of the Year in the country. You're Player of the Year in the country, correct, Mike?
No, not in the country, just in the state. I was top 5 player in the country.
Okay. Player
Kobe,
in the
Kobe, Kobe Bryant got player of the year
That's
in the
right.
country.
That's right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Yep. You're absolutely right. Pac-10 Freshman of the Year, All Pac-10 team in 1998, NCAA champion, and NBA All Rookie team. Mike Bibby is in the building. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you. I really appreciate this, man. Where I want to start with is how you got to Arizona. What were the other schools that were recruiting you out of high school?
Whatever you could think of, that's what was recruiting me. I was a top 5 point guard in the country. There was slim the schools I was going to. I had a top 3. It was
Okay.
Arizona, UCLA, and then Duke. Duke was way too far. I took one official visit. I took an unofficial visit to UCLA. Liked it. The fans were cheering my name at the game. It kind of made me feel good. I met with the coach. And then, I took an official visit to U of A. I took an official visit to Arizona too my junior year, and I knew that's where I wanted to go. But, I made sure that I got everything out the way and made sure that's my right pick. I checked UCLA out. It was too far. I was still too far being from Arizona, but
Right.
out being a mama's boy, I wanted to be close to home, but not too far. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like an hour, 15-minute drive down the street. So,
Okay. So
um,
because you were born in Jersey, correct?
yeah, I was born in New Jersey. My dad played for the 76ers. So we were
Right.
driving back from a game. And like I told my mom couldn't hold me no more. So we had to stop at a hospital on the way. And then she had me, and then we went back to Philadelphia and was there for 2 years. And then I moved to
Okay.
Phoenix.
Oh, so you moved to Phoenix after that. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so you get to Arizona, and 1997, your freshman year, you guys
Mm-hmm.
end up doing really well in the tournament. You end up actually winning the NCAA the championship in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the tournament, was that you guys' thought process? Did you think that you were going to win the tournament?
We got, I think we had a 500 record in the tournament. I mean, in our conference that year. So we were looking at the TV, just hoping we made it in the tournament.
Oh
You
wow!
know
So
what I
you were on the
mean?
bubble.
No, I don't think we were on the bubble.
Okay.
We had, like I said, we had one of the top conferences in the league. A lot of teams
Right.
made it that year.
Right.
But being 800, you're thinking like, dang, I just want a good seed. I want to get in. We ended up getting the 4 seed, so everybody was surprised.
Okay.
And it was my first time going in, so I didn't know what to expect going into the tournament.
Right. So, like I said, you go on this magical run and you guys end up winning the national tournament that year. You played against Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. And the
We
funny
we
thing
we,
is,
we beat 3 number 1 seeds that year. The only school to ever do. We beat Kentucky, North Carolina, and Kansas. Kansas was 36-0.
who was with Kansas that year? Do you
Paul
recall?
Pierce,
That's right.
LaFrance,
That's right.
Jock Vaughn.
Yeah.
They had Scott Pollard. You go all the way down the line. They had a lot of good players.
Yeah. And on your squad, you had yourself, Miles Simon. You had
Dickerson,
Jason Terry. Yeah.
Jason Terry. Yeah, you go Bennett Davidson, AJ Brown, Donnell
Right.
Harris. You go
Right.
all the way down the line. So we're kind of stacked too, but we kind of did it prematurely. I think everybody expected us to be ready for the next year, and it all happened. So it happened quick.
Your sophomore year, yeah. How was it playing? It just gives people a perspective, and I was a big fan of him. But how was it playing for Coach Olsen?
It was amazing. He was a basketball coach, but as kind of like a loving grandfather as well. Father figure, and
Sure.
he yelled a little bit during the practice, but you could tell that he cared about us. And after we were off that hardwood, he was genuine, and you could tell that he really cared about us. And the way he coached is, I think, what made it so good. He's let everybody play to his strengths. I've seen a lot of coaches, in my day, just from some of the kids that I've coached, on to the next level. And you play your strengths, you recruit these kids to play their strengths, and when they get there, you don't let them play what got them there, and then they don't turn out to be which they're supposed to be. And he let us play, he let us go. And what helped me during the tournament, he said, Mike, I need you to be aggressive.
Mm.
I coming in, and it was just like, okay, my first time, I'm one of the guys and just hanging in the background. And, after the first 1 or 2 games, he told me, I said, Mike, I need you to be aggressive. I need you to do what you do. And that kind of opened up for me. And that's when I kind of felt like, okay, let me kind of, do as much as I can and help the team get to that next level.
Yeah, he put a battery in your back. Yeah,
Yes,
he put the
for
battery in your
sure.
back to
And you
to
need
get
that.
you.
Kids
No,
need
for sure.
that, the confidence in their coach, and to go out there and say and know that if you don't make a mistake, you're not coming out the game. You can make a mistake and not come out the game instead. So a lot of these guys, one mistake and you're out the game, you don't go back in.
Yeah,
So now a lot of kids play timid and stuff like that. So that
yeah.
didn't
That's the
happen
worst.
there.
Is looking over your shoulder. The
Yes,
worst is looking
definitely.
over your shoulder because, like you said, you play timid and it gets to a point where you're playing so timid, the mistakes that you normally wouldn't make, you're making those mistakes any damn
Yeah.
way because you are playing timid. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So your sophomore year, you come back and you play very, very well your sophomore year. You average 17 points your sophomore year, and then I believe that's when you got All American honors was your sophomore year, correct?
Yes. I got Pac-10 Player of the Year my sophomore year, and then ended up being the All-American that year as well.
Now, at this point in time, coming off the national championship and, becoming an All-American and a Player of the Year, were you getting top 5 consideration at that point in time, or was it more so you knew you were going to be a lottery pick, and then when you got to the combine, things started ramping up?
It was supposed to. It was a lot different back then. I had the best agent in the game back then, David Falk. So David Falk had anybody that was anybody in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So me and Elton Brand were actually his last 2 guys that he had specifically himself. So coming out, it was number 1 pick. So he was like, we're going to get you the number 1 pick. We're going to do this. We're going to get you number 1 pick. So it was between the Clippers had the first pick. So I only worked out for one team. I worked out by myself. There was no one else there. And after I left that workout, they gave me like a duffel bag full of Clipper stuff. Like it was everything Clippers. So I'm like, I had a good. I knew I had a good workout, but I guess that means they're picking me. You know what I mean? So
for sure, right?
We didn't know. Like you go to the combine, like I said, it isn't the combine like it is today. So he told me I was going to play, in that, but you still go over the measurements and stuff like that. So like back then it was like a heart test. You see how strong your legs are with like a leg extension, and you do a bench press. So that's all we did, to get ready for that. So
let me ask you this. So the big swole Mike Bibby that we got right now, back then, of course, he's a little bit slender. It wasn't the same situation. Do you remember what you did on the bench press?
No, but I was strong though. I was strong growing up, and I look slim, but I carried my weight differently. So even when I was back then, I was 190 pounds. Sure. Back then, when it looks like I'm 160, so I was 190. So, but I don't remember what I got on the bench press, but I was a strong kid even back then, sure. And going into the draft, it ended up being in Vancouver. So it went down between me and Oliver Candy for the first pick, and we didn't know until the day of the draft. So, I kept asking my agent David Falk. I kept asking him, like, when is it? Did they know yet? Did they know? He's like, no, they don't know yet. Obviously, I ended up going with Oliver Candy, and I think it was a blessing in disguise. You always want to go number 1 pick or whatever, but I know that the troubles that early in the Clippers organization, it was always bad vibes around everything. And, Vancouver Grizzlies had the 2nd pick. And, before we went up there, I'm just turned 20 years old because the draft was in, June. And I remember going up there with my mom and my agent and talking to the GM and the head coach. And I just told them, there's nothing against Vancouver, the city, or their players. I just didn't want to be there. Just being, like I said, being a mama's boy, being a kid still, and having a kid. I had a 2-year-old at that time.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really want to travel outside the country. I didn't want to be outside the country. You know what I mean? And it was, like I said, it was nothing against them. They told me, like, hey, we're going to pick you anyway. You know what I mean? So, there's nothing I could do. I was going to, throw a fit and, do what Francis did.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like I said, it was a blessing. It was a blessing just to even get drafted. So, I went up there. We didn't have too good of a record, but the basketball was different back then. You throw it in the post. We had Country Reeves and we had Sharif Abdul-Rahim. They were, 2 monsters down there on the block. And my job was to throw it in the post and go stand over there. If they helped, you get the shot. If not, get back on defense. So.
Because at this time frame, it's a different era of basketball at this time frame. It was actually work your way from the inside out as opposed to what it is now, right? Yes. So let me, real quick before because I want to stay here, but I want to just ask you this really quick. Being that you grew up in a basketball in the NBA family with your father playing for in the NBA, was this still like, for you, was it still surreal for you when you ended up getting drafted?
I was always very level-headed coming up, and I just, like, when I first met with David Falk, like I said, he was the best in the business at the time. And my mom called me. I had a lot of agents calling, but, when he called, I was like, he wants to meet with me? You
Right.
know what I mean? And so, it was like that, and getting drafted, and just like, I was, like I said, I was blessed, and it was a dream
Sure.
come true. I always wanted to do that, but you never know if it's going to turn out or pan out that way.
For everybody out there who don't know who David Falk is, if you see the logo on Mr. Bibby's jacket right now, he was Jordan's agent as well.
Mhm.
So is that kind of how you? I mean, I'll get to this later. So I'm not going to even ask that right now because I'll get to the Jordan brand and everything here later. Um, Real quick too, before we get to how you ended up in Sacramento, you won in the national championship in college, and then you playing so well your sophomore season. Let me ask you this: if you didn't win the national championship in college, do you still think that you would have left as early as you did?
I don't know. It might have been different, but um, I knew that it was my time, and I was ready for it. My
I got you.
my freshman year, people. I mean, I was getting asked if I'm leaving, this and that, and maturity wise, physicality wise, um, um, mental wise, I wasn't ready at all. I knew I wasn't. And,
Okay.
that next year I worked my ass off and did everything I could. And after the season was over, and just the season that I had, and how much stronger and better I felt than, the guys I was going up against, I knew I was ready.
Okay. I got you. You know what's so funny is I never forget this. I would, and of course, I never played on anywhere close to the level that you played on. But when I was playing in high school, I used to always get told my jump shot was ugly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not even kidding, no bullshit. I actually studied your film, and
Mm-hmm.
I try to perfect my jump shot to resemble yours
Uh-huh. How'd it turn out?
because terrible, terrible. It ain't work, man. It ain't work. That's why I'm listen. That's why I'm not on the other side, and I'm doing this
Yeah.
interview with you now. Yeah,
That's
because
understandable.
yeah,
That's
it didn't turn out
understandable.
well, but you got to know what your strengths are, right? Like it's like you
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
previously. You
Yeah.
definitely got to know what your strengths are. So you played for the Grizzlies for 3 years, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you give me what your welcome to the NBA moment was when you was just like, oh shit, I'm in the league?
My oldest brother always says that you were white as the ghost out there in your first game. And I'm playing against, so we went against so this is the lineup there. Damon Stoudemire played Portland Trailblazers.
Mm,
Scottie Pippen, 6'8". Rasheed Wallace, 6'11". Brian Grant or Daniel, I forget which one it was, but they're 6'11". Arvidas Sabonis 7 foot. So I'm going against guys that the average height is 6'9", 7 foot. So I mean, it was just like, and they were trapping me all over the court, all over the course. My first game,
mm-hmm.
and I had turnover after turnover after turnover, and I was like, damn, this get cute. Hopefully, it ain't like this every night. And
Right,
so
right.
I mean, I got out of that mode, but eventually I was like, okay, I was made to be here, play basketball.
For sure. What was it? Do you remember the moment that gave you that? Do you remember the exact moment that you was like, okay, shit, I'm supposed to be here?
I mean, I think probably after that game, it was just like I said, playing your dream come true. I mean, the preseason really doesn't make a difference, but
Right.
when it really matters, and you get out there and you jump the ball up, and all the guys that you used to look up to playing is out there on the court with you. Um, it's a different feeling. You got to go through that feeling to know what it is.
Okay. And so you were at the Grizzlies for 3 years, correct?
Yeah, 3 years.
And then they ended up relocating to where they currently are right now in Memphis.
Yes.
Um, how did you guys get the news that they were going to be relocating? And because it was going to be an expansion draft, you ended up getting traded for a hometown favorite in Jason Williams that was in Sacramento, correct?
There wasn't an expansion draft. They were just going to move the team. So I mean, there was
Oh wow,
speculation that
okay,
they were. Yeah, so they had the draft to start the team. So once
got it.
you have expansion draft to start the team, and after that, then you're involved with the regular draft and all that stuff. But they put
Got it.
like you can't get the number one pick for so many years. They put a lot of stuff on the expansion teams. But
Right.
there was speculation they were going to move it the second year, but it didn't end up. It was like Kentucky, um, Memphis, and maybe like one or two other places. And
Okay.
then the third year, it was supposed to move again, and then they ended up not doing it. So that after that, um, the owner, Michael Heisley, rest in peace, he came to me and was like, Michael, the team will probably move next year, and we're probably going to trade you, put you in a different situation so you can be in a different situation when you want to be in. And a lot of people, a lot of teams don't do this. They'll just send you off and nowhere. But I mean,
Right.
And the first, so he like, give me your 5 top teams you want to go to, and I gave my top 5 teams, and he was like, "What's the number one place you want to go?" And I told him, I said Sacramento, and he's like, "Okay." And I didn't hear anything for like a couple of weeks or whatever, and I was working out. It was like midnight. I was at the gym shooting and stuff, and then somebody called my brother like, "Hey, your brother's coming to Sacramento," and he told me. I was like, "Ain't no way." I would have heard something.
Right.
And so I go out to my car, get my phone, and you always know it's a trade when you get a call. You got a number from Vancouver and a number from Sacramento calling you at the same
Oh,
time. So
yeah, definitely. Right.
and I just I screamed and was jumping around and was excited. And I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to play there was, I mean, being from the Grizzlies, you don't really draw the crowd of the opposing team that you're going to play against. So when we were on the Vancouver Grizzlies, when Vancouver would come to town, it was the attendance was down.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
for sure.
when I went to Sacramento, we played the last game of the season. We have nothing to gain. They have nothing to gain. They're already in the playoffs. I remember go walking in and the arena's packed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, I know they came to even watch us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And
For
so,
sure.
I mean, I was like that, and just the way that they played and the style of play that they played, I wanted to be in that style of play and situation and around playing in front of those fans and stuff like that. That was the reason why I wanted to go there.
Did you think, okay, because you ended up, like I mentioned previously, you ended up getting traded, and it was kind of like, I think it was some other people involved, but it was kind of a
Yeah.
swap for Jason Williams, right?
Yeah. So it was Jason Williams and Nick Anderson for me and Brent Price, I think.
Brent Price, yep. Okay.
Yeah.
How
So,
did
I mean,
you,
I think, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No,
You
go,
good.
go,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Now, I was going to ask you, did you feel any type of, any type of pressure to live up to what Jason Williams had left behind, or was you just like, okay, I'm gonna come in here and do my shit and lead my own path?
Yeah. I mean, the thing I was worried about was being accepted by the fans and the
Got it.
team.
Yeah.
And, I mean, because I knew he was a fan favorite. And for him to get him out of there for me, I wanted to see how it would turn out. And,
Sure.
the fans took to me, I think just like I said, that's just the way their fans are. You come in
Right.
playing for the team, you're one of them now.
Right.
And when I got to the locker room, it was even better because they made me feel like I had been there for 10 years anyway.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was easy to fit in. It was easy to be comfortable. And my agent said, their team's already established. You don't have to come in here and try to do nothing extra. Just come in here and just play basketball.
Yeah,
And,
they was
you don't have
loaded.
to you don't have to try to be up here. Just do
Right.
what you do. And I mean, the team wins, you look good too. So we end up
Yeah.
having 61 wins that season too, as well.
Yeah, so some of the names, Chris Webber, of course. We got Bobby Jackson coming off the bench, which was
Mm-hmm.
crazy
Mm-hmm.
for him to being in that 6-man role. Then we have Vlade Divac, Doug Christie. We have
Herculou,
Herculou. Yeah, was
Gerald
Page
Wallace.
was Page
Huh?
there yet? Was Page
Page was
there
there
yet?
too. Yeah, Page
Okay,
was there
okay.
too. I mean, like you go all the way down the line. We had a real good team,
And Coach
and
Rick
there was
Allen.
no egos on the team either. I mean, we knew Chris Webber was the alpha dog on the team,
Right.
and everybody else filled in the place. Sometimes it was my night, sometimes it was Vladi's, next Page's, next Bobby's, but and everybody was cool with that. I think that's what made us so good.
Right. So, right, the first year, like you mentioned, 61 wins, 61-21 that year. And this is
Best team in the NBA too, as well.
no. Listen,
Best.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. No, seriously, because so here's the thing. So this is where we transition to where I want to get to the 2002 Western Conference Finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going up against the Shaq and Kobe Bryant led Lakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from top to bottom, I promise to God, Mike, I'm not even bullshitting, bro. I have this conversation with people on a consistent basis, and I always say that Sacramento team, if you go top to bottom, was a better overall team than that Lakers team. There's no question at all.
I mean, I think everybody knew that. Now we knew that. I think they knew that. You could look. You could after Game 7, you could look on their face and knew that. Damn, we got by with one. You know what I mean? You could see it in their face. And I mean, like I said, we were better throughout the whole series. When we kind of shit the bed at Game 7, but I mean, like, you got to put that on us. We did, we shoot 2 for whatever from the 3-point line, 8 for somewhat. I mean, under 50% from the free throw line. So I mean,
Right.
we deserve to lose Game 7. I mean, even though it went into overtime, we deserve to lose that.
Let's go back.
We play a slider any better than what we played, we win that game.
You win the game.
Yeah.
But with that being said, though, and I'll get here in a second. But with that being said, the whole controversy still to this day surrounding Game 6, and the calls that the referees favored towards the Lakers in Game 6. But before I get there, I want to just show you something real quick because of the Game 5. I want to just my platform. I love bigging people up and I love giving people their flowers, right? So the game winner that you hit in Game 5, right? And look how grainy this footage is.
I know.
Right?
I mean, with the technology we have today, I try to show some of these kids my highlights. I just like, dang, how long ago did you play? You know what I mean?
But just walk me through what was going on during this play. I mean, of course, I see what it was. It was a dribble handoff to you. But was it meant for you? Was the play meant for you?
The play was for Webb to make the play. So whatever play Webb made, that's how it was going to happen. And I just walking out to the court. I told him, I said, Webb, if you don't shoot it, I will hit the shot. I promise you, I'll hit the shot.
Good
and
shit.
He ended up handing it off. And it's a shot that I shot probably over 1 million times.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So I mean, I knew that if I got the chance to shoot it, Webb, that's just, like I said, that's what type of team we were. The best player didn't take the shot.
Right.
You know what I mean? You watch certain games, some other games, even back then, today, you all know who's going to shoot the ball. You know what I mean? Right. That's what, like I said, we had confidence in each other that Webb could hand the ball off to me and have faith that I'm going to knock the shot down. Right. But the play was for Webb to either score or hand off. So, it was his decision to make.
The controversy that was surrounding Game 6, though, right? And I previously mentioned it. And of course, it's these conspiracy theorists out there. I'm not sure where you sat on the fence is the reason why I'm going to ask you this question. So, because I'm a firm believer, I love the game too much for me to even go to rigged. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to disrespect the game that much. But the calls that happened during that game, what was it, Game 6, right?
Yeah.
It was heavily favored in the Lakers' favor. And it was just, once again, I'm just going to show some of these calls that were called on for like no reason. Like see the exact reaction that you gave me. Just looking at this and just reliving this, how did you feel about Game 6?
It makes me sick. You know what I mean? It's just that, I mean, like I said, we were up. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of times we were up by 20 in the whole series. And like I said, we knew we were the better team. You know what I mean? Regardless, rigged or not, I know we were the better team. And it's just sad that we lost it. You know what I mean? Like, everything happens for a reason. Vladdy's tap out or, whatever. Right. I mean, it's just, I can't even watch it today, the shot. Like, the shot will come up. Cool. I know it's coming. I'll turn it off.
Oh, really? Okay, so let me stop this then, because I don't want to. Let me stop sharing this, because I don't want you to have a breakdown, man. Because that's
no breakdown. I try not to watch it. You know what I mean? Because I lived it, and but
I was going to ask you that too. That was going to be a question that I asked you if you ever went back and watched that shot that Ori hit. And I swear,
I watch the fouls. I watch everything. It's this stuff that you could go and say. You could look at it. That it wasn't the same way it was called all game or whatever. But
sure.
Like I said, there was many chances for us to win that game. There was many more chances for us to win that series. And like I said, we play any shred of better in Game 7, we win that game going away. We played the worst we could play and go into overtime. That just
Right.
shows you how much. That just shows you how much better we were.
Right. I got you. I got you. Um, I I have a question to ask you about this, and then I'm going to piggyback and let you know what I think about it too.
Okay.
There could have been, I believe, at least 2 years where you could have been an all-star, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What years? Because I'm sure you feel the exact same way,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
What years do you think you should have made the All Star team?
My 2 highest scoring years. I don't even know which years those were, but
The
those two
two
years,
highest scoring were,
I think like
I believe,
21.1 and like 19.8 or something.
21.1. That was the '05 season, I believe it was.
I don't even remember. All that's
It
it's
was. I think it
so
was the
long
'05
ago.
season.
So
Yep, 21.1 year, and that's the year. And I think it was the year after. The second one was the year after the Western Conference Finals that we were just talking about, the '03-'04 season, when you
uh-huh.
averaged like 18.5.
Uh-huh.
Those
I
are the
thought it
two
was not,
years
I
that you
thought it
think.
was a year after maybe that what year what did I average after that? 19 point when did I average 19? Did I average 9.8?
No, it was. So what I see is what I remember when I was doing it. It was '03-'04,
Mm-hmm.
18.4.
Uh-huh.
19.8 was the following was the year after that. That's what it was. It was
Uh-huh.
19.8, and then it was
I
21.2.
think I think you're right. But like I said, it was different back then. Everybody in the All-Star game, everybody was playing.
Right,
There wasn't where you make the All-Star, you don't play, I get the All-Star. Now you got 30 All-Stars. You know what I mean?
right,
So back then everybody was playing, no matter what. Like it was a big thing to play in the All-Star game. So you played All-Star and no one sat. In those 2 years, they took one point guard. I think it was Tony Parker one year and Nash maybe the other.
okay, okay,
So, what I mean? But like I said, everything happens for a reason.
exactly.
It didn't happen for a reason. So,
Right, exactly, exactly. Let me just shoot out a couple rapid fire questions for you to you,
mhm.
and then I'll get to Brand Jordan. I just want to finish up with your coaching career right now. Okay.
Okay.
Um, favorite pair of Jordan sneakers?
Jordan
Like
11s.
no, okay, Jordan 11s.
Yes.
How many pair of sneakers do you think you have?
uh, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand.
Okay, okay. Toughest player that you had to guard on a consistent basis, or that you had fits with on the offensive end.
Hardest person I had to guard was probably Marbury. He was
Okay,
just, um, he was a dog. He had the attitude. He don't care who he's going against. He's going to get to 30 shots. He's strong. He's quick. He's
right,
fast. So I mean, you had going against him defensively, you're going to have your night cut out for you. You have to play offense, but also play defense because he's coming right back at you. You scoring him, he's coming right back. You got that, that New York mental part of the basketball game. Like if you score on me,
true,
now it's my turn to score on you. So
exactly,
it was going to be that way every night with him.
right, right. Give me an artist that you're listening to right now. Who's your favorite rap artist right now?
I I Lil Baby and Moneybagg Yo are my two favorite out right now. Like I got
Little baby, do not miss. He
he
don't. He
doesn't.
don't miss. He don't
Don't
miss
sleep
at
on
all.
Moneybagg Yo too.
No,
Moneybagg Yo
Moneybag is
too.
nice.
I must,
No,
he's
Moneybag
nice
is nice.
too.
He's super nice. But I mean, I haven't heard anything that Baby missed on at all.
Yeah. I don't think I
Um,
have either.
yeah, Moneybag is nice. So, who is your favorite of all time?
Pop.
Okay, okay,
Growing up in the West and
right, right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
even when the East Coast, West Coast beef, I felt like I had to take the West Coast side. You know what I mean? That's just the way that back then that's what you did. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
You
sure.
try not to listen to the other guys and stuff like
Right,
that, but
right. Um, how did you end up? Two questions that I have. Are you still a quote unquote ambassador? I don't know if that's the right question or the right terminology for Jordan. Are you still involved, affiliated with Jordan?
yes, I am. I still get packages. They still involve me. And, I was at the Jordan Brand high school basketball game a couple months ago. So, I'm still involved. I always told them, like, I was one of the first 5, 6 players. They had 5 the first year. And then I came in the next year and was added to that group of 5, Vin Baker, Michael Finley, Derek Anderson, Ray Allen,
Mm-hmm.
Vin Baker, Ray Allen, Michael Finley, Derek Anderson, one more. Eddie Jones.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they like the first year they came out the year before I got drafted, and then I got to the next year. So I'm like one of the original 5, 6 guys that started the brand, and it was just only basketball at the time. And I can't even see myself. I have nothing in my closet but Jordan. So
I got you, man. I got you. Coaching now, right? So you've been coaching for the last 3 or 4 years now, if I believe.
No, I've been coaching. I've been coaching basketball ever since my son was probably 2014, maybe, in high school.
Okay.
I've been coaching the AAU program since like he was probably 10 years old. So he's 14. He's 24 now. So like when the season was over, I'd come back and coach them in the summer, and then had them in all brand Jordan stuff, brand Jordan uniforms, brand Jordan shoes.
That was your team, right? Team Bibby, correct?
Yes, Team Bibby, yes.
Okay.
And but now, I was trying to move out. Got out this high school ranks. I've done a lot of, combine stuff. I did the NBA coaching program, NBA combine. Did some G League stuff with Ty Ellis, G League, the G League bubble with Ty Ellis. So I'm still trying to get. This summer I got to do. I'm working with the Puerto Rican national team to help their guards for a week, and do watch them play the United States and stuff like that. So I'll be out there probably next month doing that. Just trying to get my knowledge and help any kid I can, and just make them better, develop players.
So you mentioned the national team for Puerto Rico. Can you let me know real quick your involvement, or if you're still involved with the Big Three?
I am. I'm the all-time leading. They have a coaching spot for me. So as soon as, I think they might expand next year. So as soon as they expand, I'll get a coaching spot to coach there. But I do some media stuff for them. I'm the leading 4-point shooter in league history. So what they had me do
talk,
is,
Mike, talk.
they had me like, so halftime or like one of the games, they'll get like, they give like $500 to a kid that comes out there and shoot against me for a minute at the 4-point spots. And
that's cool.
Just people from the stands. So they'll get like 3 people and bring them out, shoot them for a minute, see if they could beat the pro. So that's what it's called, beat the pro, and just do that for them.
That's dope. Do you have any aspirations of coaching in the NBA at all?
Yeah, I would love to coach somewhere. Like I said, I coached at the high school level for 6 years. And, like I said, I want to help develop players and just get them, the teaching that they don't get.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's where I was going to go. If it's more player development that you want to get involved with more than anything. Okay.
I'll do both. Yeah, I'll do both. But assistant coaches, player develop anyway. So.
Okay, got you. Makes sense. Mike Bibby's workout regimen, right? So now it's some videos floating out there with your workout regimen, and the funniest shit that I will never forget is when the situation with you and Dwayne Wade, when he threw your shoe on the court or something like that. And then Gabrielle Union said, "Yeah, I bet you won't throw this Mike Bibby." Have you seen that? I'm pretty sure you've seen that, right?
I've seen that. People get the picture beyond proportion. You know what I mean? So I eat. I'm in the gym. I lift hard. I'm in there. Right. I like to have my headphones in. I work hard. I do my own lift. I don't go off of what other people do. I feel like if I want to do that today, I'll do whatever I want to do and get it done. I'm in the gym for about 3 hours to 4 hours lifting every day. So.
Dope, man. Dope. Wait. 3 to 4 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
so do you focus on a particular muscle group when you're working out, or is it just like a full body?
Do full body, first day of the week, and then, next day I'll do arms, shoulders, and legs, and then Wednesday I'll do back and chest, and then Thursday I'll do arms, legs, and shoulders, and then Friday, Friday, I do chest and back. But I mean, I do so much stuff. I mean,
Right.
I just figured out just from the stuff that I used to do when I was playing, but I just do a little bit heavier and then just do the stuff that I see on TV sometimes.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Are you still hooping at all?
I play a little bit, you know. I mean, like I'll go up to the gym with my son, my nephews. I got some nephews that will be in high school next year. I played with them, play with Eddie House. So it's like our five will be my two nephews, my son, and me and Eddie House. And we go play against, you know, some college kids, guys, and Mountainside Fitness, and just, you know, just get up and run a little bit.
Can Alex Scales beat you yet?
In what?
Hooping.
He's still playing and going hard and stuff right now, working on that basketball stuff. I don't work on basketball stuff anymore.
Got it.
You know what I mean? He does agility stuff. I'm not doing no agility. I'm working on if I can still get my feet right and just get the shot up and just play off of, you know, muscle memory. He's still playing. So
he's still, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
It is. I mean, I seen him like 2 years ago. I seen him dunk on somebody at the gym. I was like, damn, Scales, you can still jump like that.
Yeah, you know I was out there. I was out there last year, and we went to his what is it? Be Legendary League. I believe that's what it was called.
Yeah, I think that is. Yeah.
Okay. And the shit he was doing still at that, I'm like, bro, like how? Like
how? He can still hoop, man. He's still like hooping a high level too.
Nah, for sure. I
got him into the big three. I got him into the big three for the last 2 years. I drafted him on my team.
Okay.
I know he can still play.
Nah, for sure. He could definitely still play. Still play. Before we get out of here, like I said, I like to give people their flowers. So I just want you to, I'm going to go over some of your highlights, right? And I just want you to, we'll just talk through the highlights, you know, react to the highlights as you see fit. But we'll just talk through these highlights, man. Let me know when you can see this. Can you see this?
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Listen, babyface Mike Bibby listen, you know, at one point in time, look, you know what's so funny? At one point in time, I didn't think that you could still grow hair. I was like, did he cut his hair? Like, I didn't even know that you could still grow hair.
I got it removed because I've had a lot of ingrown hairs, and you know, it's just irritable and just to save your ingrown hairs and bumps and stuff like that, so you don't have to pick. So I got him once. You know what? Let me get this shit off my face.
That's funny. Hey man, I want to ask you as we're watching your highlights, and first of all, I'm gonna just tell you, man, it's an honor to have you on again. I'm gonna keep saying that, and you were one of my favorite players growing up. I never forget, and correct me if I'm wrong, you scored the very first points of the NCAA tournament, correct? When of the championship game.
Yeah, I made the first layup. Yes, the first
layup, and
the first basket actually.
The very first basket of the, I never forget. God, what's the guy? Was it the announcer? I can't think of his name right now.
I forget who was announcing that game too.
It's always the CBS crew, but the names escape me right now. But anyway, they were just talking about how much of a problem he was going to be this whole entire game of the NCAA tournament. And, you know, I was watching you, I think in 96, what was I in? I was a sophomore. And like I said, I tried to pattern my jump shot after you. I just couldn't get the shit down. And, but yeah, I've been a fan of yours for the longest, man. And like I said,
I appreciate that.
This is an honor to have you on.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and you're very welcome. But we just saw somebody, right? That's on the screen. That was how great, because I believe you played with him in 2011. How great of a basketball mind is LeBron James?
I was only there for 4 months, so I didn't see much. You know what I mean? So I was.
I'm gonna stop sharing this real quick because I want to bring this back to the full screen while we talk about this. But yeah, you was a beast. Thank you very much. No, this was different.
And I mean, it was just the way I took it playing was I put so much work in that every shot I made, every shot I took, I expect to make, and because I've done it so much. And there's been games where I've had a bad shooting game, and I'll go because our practice facility used to be right across the street, and there'll be times when I go in there at midnight and make 300 jumpers out because shooting a bad game, and leave out of town the next day and go to another place and get ready to play too. But that's just I was strong mind, and my mindset was you've done this, you shot this shot a million times, just knock it down, get in your hands and shoot it. You've done it before.
Right, right. I was getting to LeBron because the way of course we got the GOAT conversation between him and Jordan, which is so crazy because you leave out so many people like Kareem and I think for me personally, I think Kareem has the best basketball resume anybody can put on the table. If you talk about high school through the end of his career, he has the best basketball resume of anybody that I've ever seen, right? When you're talking about basketball players as far as the GOAT, I'm always going to side with Jordan because I saw Jordan in his prime and I followed the maturation of and the shit he was doing and the hysteria behind it was just different. Now, on the flip side of that, LeBron is my favorite player, which is crazy. It's like Jordan's a GOAT, but LeBron's my favorite player. And I think more so it is because I saw LeBron as a sophomore in high school and I followed his entire career. When I really started understanding the game of basketball, Jordan was winning his first championship when I started understanding the game. But I saw LeBron from a sophomore to now. Do you have a stance? I know you kind of I don't know if you're biased, so let me not say that. Do you have a stance on that? On who you think the greatest player is?
I'd say MJ.
Okay.
Just, I mean, you can't go. I mean, just it speaks for itself. You know
right,
what I mean? And I mean, just all the way down to the shoes, to just you go any area you go, he's the best at. You know what I mean? It's just that's the way I think, and everybody has their opinion, and
for sure.
So that's it.
Yeah. And how was it when you saw him and played against him for the first time?
See, the first year I didn't get to play against him because it was a lockout. So we only played 50 games that season. So a lot of the West Coast teams didn't play the East Coast teams. Okay. So I can't remember if I caught him I might have caught him when he was on. I remember being in Sacramento. He was on the Wizards. And he might have retired, I think, like earlier in my career. Okay. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it was different. I didn't really get to see him in his primes in the early 90s like that and stuff like that, but I've watched on TV for sure.
Just being in his presence, though, because I hear people who have been in his presence speak about him like it was just like a mythical person. Like I've even heard
that's how it seems.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, even Iverson spoke to the point where he said when he first saw Jordan, it was like, damn, he got on the shoes, he got on this and this. Like, it wasn't supposed to be the situation. Like, people speak so glowingly, and it's a different era now because we didn't have social media back then, right? So when you saw these people, it was either on the television or you saw them, or let me just rephrase that. When you saw them out in a natural element, it was a little bit different than what you see it now. And the reason why I mention that is because I was talking to a kid and I asked him, his favorite player is LeBron. I asked him, I said, how would you feel if you met LeBron, if you saw him? You know what he said to me? He said, I see LeBron every day on social media. So it's not the same. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same as what it means, what it was back there. So were you in shock when you saw him for the first time?
Yeah, I was in shock, but I mean, we'd have meetings with the Jordan people and he'd be there. So he'd be around, but it's still like the same thing you're talking like, damn, I don't even want to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. You know what I mean? Because he'll get on your ass in a minute. And, you know what I mean? He'll let you have it no matter who you were. And that's just the way like I said, we had a Jordan meeting and everybody was there. Chris Paul, Ray Allen, you go all the way down the line, everybody. And he went around the whole table and said something about everybody. And I was just like, I see my turn came and he said, you're quiet, Mike, so I'm gonna leave you alone. And he just went, I said, thank you. I said, thank you. But I mean, like I said, that's what he is. Like he'll be on, like he'll get on you. It's fun, you know, back and forth stuff. So, you know, great guy.
Got it. Hey, Mike, man, listen, I know you got to get out of here, so I'm gonna let you go. But from the bottom of my heart, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for coming on. Shout out to Alex, that's my man, for setting this up for me. But I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, man.
Wish I could have stayed longer, man. So one of these days I'll get on here longer for you. I got to go to this graduation right now. So
No, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. I
like I
appreciate
said,
you, man.
appreciate for having me, man.
Yep. For y'all out there, thank you for watching. I am Alan Cole Beasy Colburn. This is Baseline to Goal Line. Peace and love.